Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Today we are in lesson number 5 and we are in part number 2. We start Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim wa bis-salah ala Rasulillah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Last time we talked about the furthermost part of the tongue where the letter qaf and kaf exit from. Today we are going to take another part of the tongue, which is the middle tongue, wasat al-lisan, the middle part of the tongue. Let's have a look. What are the letters that are pronounced from the middle part of the tongue? Now this is the middle part of the tongue. This is the furthermost, which we talked about earlier, and this is the middle part of the tongue. There are 3 letters that exit from this area, and they are Jim, Ya, and Sheen. 3 letters exit from the middle part of the tongue. We're going to talk about each letter separately. But let us see Imam al-Jazri. What did he say regarding this part? He said, وَالْوَسْطُ فَجِيمُ الشِّينُ يَا. وَالْوَسْطُ, the middle, pronounced from this area, Jim, Sheen, and Ya. So the middle tongue against the middle upper palate, middle against middle, is the 3 letters Jim, Ya, and Sheen. Okay? And they are called huruf shajariyah. This is a title for them because this part that is between the 2 cheeks is called shajarul fam, this area. So they call them huruf shajariyah. It's just a title for them. So now we know there are 3 letters pronounced from the middle part of the tongue. Let's have a look at the 3 letters. First of all, we have the Jim, we have the Ya, and we have the Sheen. From the first minute, we say, subhanallah, those 3 letters, they are so different in the sound. How come they are pronounced from the same area? When we were talking about the qaf and the kaf, they are close together, the sound. They can be mixed. We can mix them. But we can, be confused. Is it a qaf or a kaf? But these 3 letters are really different. But actually, they are not. Let's have a look at each one of these letters separately. But before we move, I want to show you how come they share the same exit, the articulation area. Now this is the tongue, and this is the middle part of the tongue, and the middle part of the upper palate. Okay, and the same here. This is the Ya, and also the middle tongue is used against the middle upper palate, and the same with the Sheen. But each one of them, the shape of the tongue and the touching of the upper palate differs from one letter to the other. If we notice here, if we have a look here, we will notice that the tongue has totally closed against the upper palate, while in the Ya and the Sheen, there is a path. They are not completely closed. The middle tongue is not completely closing against the upper palate. And when we are talking about the Ya, we are not talking about the lengthened Ya. We know the lengthened Ya, and we talked about it, that the articulation, it's articulated from al-jawf, the empty space in the mouth. But here we are not talking about the ya maddiya, the lengthened ya. First of all, we are going to talk about the jim, the letter aj, aj. Have a look here. The middle tongue is closing against the upper palate. So when the makhraj of a letter closes totally, what is this? Let's go back to the angles that we talked about regarding the characteristics of the letters. The letter that the two parts of its exit closes totally, not allowing any sound, no air to pass through. What was this character called? It was called shidda. Shidda. This letter is harf shadid. Why is it shadid? Because it prevents the sound from running. Okay, it's not a soft, it doesn't have a soft character where the sound can run, but it is harf shadid. Why? Because the two parts of the articulation points, they totally closed, preventing the sound to run. Okay, what else? What is the consequences of the letter being shadid? We need to open the makhraj. We cannot keep, we can't have the makhraj totally closed. So it has to open. And remember when we were talking about one of the characters, which is qalqala, like the letter qaf, for example, we said that the makhraj totally closes. This is the letter qaf. I have to open it. So I'll say So there's a qalqala here. What about the kaf? Do you remember when we talked about it? The letter kaf. It's also harf shadid. Let's try. This is the kaf. Is there qalqala in the kaf? No, but I need to open the makhraj. So I open with hams. Just a little bit of air exits. Okay, so what about the jim here? It's also a hard letter, harf shadid. So this letter has qalqala. So we say aj. How did I do this? How did I pronounce it like this? I totally close the middle part of the tongue against the middle part of the upper palate. What about the tip of my tongue? The tip of my tongue is against the lower gum. Okay? So the tip of the tongue is, it's tightened against the lower gum, and I rise up the middle part of the tongue and I strike the upper palate. And I say aj. So the exit is closed. What does this mean? It means that the letter is shadid, hard, meaning it either has qalqala or hams. The two letters of hams are the ta and the kaf. So the other letters that are shadida, it has qalqala except the hamza. We talked about it earlier. So which angle is that? It's the angle where we were observing if the sound is running or not. And how would it sound when the exit is opened? It has qalqala. Okay, so when I open the exit, I open it with qalqala. And the qalqala is this strong sound. Okay? Aqqa, aj, Okay, let's read those 3 words. وجعلنا الحج it's a shadda letter. وسيجزي. So if it has a sukoon, then it's qalqala. So it's a strong letter, it's a hard letter, harf shadid, and also it has qalqala. Let's move to the next letter. And the next letter is the sheen. Let's pronounce this. Ash. The exit is opened, right? What does that mean? It means that this letter cannot be hard, like the jim. This letter is soft. How did I know? From the angle that we observed from it earlier when we started this course, that if the exit is not closed, then this allows the sound to run. So this is a soft letter. Harf rakhawa. It has rakhawa. And the description of the letter is that it is harf rikhu. It runs, the sound runs, okay? So does it have a flowing sound time? Yes. The jim does not. All the letters that are hard, حروف الشدة, they do not have a flowing sound time. But yes, the sheen does. What does the lips have? Does the lips have a role in pronouncing this letter? No, of course not. But you know what? Many students use the lips to pronounce the sheen. How interesting. Listen. I want you to listen carefully. Listen to the 2 pronunciations. Here. Ash-shams. Ash-shams. Okay? And then ash-shams. Ash. Here. Yash. You see? I am using my lips so that I can support the pronunciation of the sheen, but the sound is not correct at all. So get a mirror, as I always tell you. All my students, I always tell them, have a small mirror. Have a look at yourself when you are pronouncing the letter, because sometimes you will say, I don't do this. But if you have a mirror and have a look, you will maybe realize that you are getting the support of the lips. But this changes the sound. The lips have no role in pronouncing the sheen. Okay? So let's pronounce those 3 words. Yashtari. Ash-shams. Nashrah. Okay? What do you notice in the sheen? There's something very special in the sheen. Ash. Ash. Does it have hums? Does it have this whispering sound? Does it have this air flow? Yes. But does it exceed the normal that we know? For example, the letter sin, the letter ha, the letter sad, all these have hums, whisper. But the sheen exceeds them all. It has an extra character which is called tafashi. And this means that there is tafashi of the air. The air flows, the amount of air that flows outside the mouth when we pronounce the sheen sukoon is unique. And that's why The sheen has a very special, just the sheen in all the letters have a very special character, which is called tafashi. Okay? Let's move to the letter ya. Which ya are we talking about? As I mentioned before, we are not talking about the moved, the lengthened letter. Are we talking about the moved letter? No. The lengthened? No. The lean? Yes. And also the moved. But you know what? The moved letters, the characteristics do not show. Why? Because we open the makhraj with the fatha, with the kasra, with the dhamma. We say, for example, ya, yi, you. But when it's sukoon, we can really hear and apply all the characters of the letter. So when we say ay, let's pronounce these words. Al-Qayyum, Tayyibah, Ghaib. Is the makhraj closed? Is the exit point closed? No. How did I know that it's not closed? Because the sound is flowing. We say ay, we say ghaib, we say tayyibah, we say al-qayyum. What if we close the makhraj? We stress on the makhraj. What happens? The sound, it will sound like this. Al-qayyum, totally closed, and that's not correct. Tayyibah. There are some, for example, in Surah Al-Fatiha, some people would say Iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka. This is wrong. Let it flow. Iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka nasta'in. Okay, so if we have a look at the makhraj, the exit point of the ya, we will also notice that there is an opening here. There is a space where the sound can flow. That's why it's rikhwa. And also, if we close, it's going to be, we can close. I mean, this is a mistake that some students do. So this means that I'm adding a character that does not belong to this letter, and that is shidda, hardness. Okay, very good. How do we adjust the pronunciation of the letters? As we agreed, we put a hamza fatha and a sukoon letter, and we are going to try when it's with a shadda. Now, it's very important to notice the jim. We said that the jim harf shadid, meaning that the exit point closes the middle part of the tongue, totally closes the above, against the above middle part of the palate, the upper palate, okay? Totally closed. What if I left it a little bit open? The sound will be like this. Right? I can't make qalqala. In this case, I cannot make qalqala because the qalqala only happens when the makhraj, the two parts of the makhraj are closed. So here, if I say ajja, this is wrong. I need to close the makhraj. Ajja, ajja. Here I need to open the makhraj. Ayya, asha. If I close the makhraj of the ya, it's going to sound like this. Ayya, ayya. Totally wrong. Okay? And the sheen, I cannot close it actually. It doesn't work. It's going to be a jim. Okay? Because when I open the makhraj of the jim, it's going to sound somehow like the sheen. It's going to sound like this. Aj, aj. Okay? Very like the sheen. Okay. I think we are going to stop here, and inshallah in part number 3 we're going to talk more about the remaining part of the letters, the ya, and so that the recording is not that long. Okay, I'll see you in the coming recording, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.